All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nguyen. I am one of the international student advisors with Green River College's international programs. And my role as an advisor is, of course, to help our students reach their academic and immigration goals. And the way we divide up the advising responsibilities is we specialize based on major. And so one of the areas that I specialize in is the business programs. So I try and help my students attain their goals to transfer to universities all over the globe and a variety of different business majors. And there are several very frequently asked questions that I think would be the best ones to start tonight with addressing. So those starting off with that first question, what classes should a student start off with if they were to just start studying here at Green River College? So there's a couple of things with that. So first off is that there are some classes you could take at Green River College that are basically going to be universal. So no matter where you transfer, and when I say that, I mean that literally universities throughout the United States, Europe, Canada, Australia, wherever you want to go in the world, many of these business classes will transfer. And to start at Green River, we usually recommend in your first quarter, maybe 2 quarters, you take a mix of classes. So you would take some business-related coursework, such as accounting and economics, in addition to math and English. Another really common question that I get is, what university should a student consider transferring to? And that answer also the answer to that question also kind of depends. There are some different factors you may want to consider when you're trying to figure out where you might want to go. So for some students, you got to think about what are the biggest factors that it will be important to you. Is it cost? Cost for tuition and cost for living expenses are very different depending on where you want to go. Does location matter? Do you care that the school is maybe in a more rural location, or do you prefer somewhere in a larger city or suburban? West Coast, East Coast? Does climate matter? So meaning like, are you fond of deserts, mountains, the coast, or the beach? Do you like places that are hot, that are cold? A lot of different factors like that. In addition, not every school has the majors that you want. So even if they do, are they even good at the major that you want to attain? The other thing is, do they maybe have some special programs that they have to offer? Maybe a special career services program or a special internship program set up with certain large companies. But generally speaking, let's say cost was a big factor for a student. One of the first couple of schools that I think of that come to mind for me is universities within California State. So something like San Diego State University or San Jose State University, or the City University of New York system. If cost is a big factor, although living costs can be a little bit expensive in places like California and New York, the tuition at those universities is extremely cheap. If you're worried about, for example, reputation and overall rankings, then I might often recommend for my business students schools like NYU, New York University, University of California, Berkeley, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and Arizona State University, just to name a few. And again, coming back to my original thought, what's important to you might be different than other students. So which universities would I recommend students apply to will vary depending on what's important for you. A third question that I often get asked, or especially for students that are exploring the business major, is what can I even do with a degree, or what areas of business can you study? Because business is considered an umbrella major, so it covers a lot of different areas. And there are a lot of different specialties within business that you could study, such as accounting, finance, analytics, actuarial sciences, marketing, entrepreneurship, business administration, management information systems, human resources, logistics, and supply chain management. And all those mean a lot of different things. So of course, then I should follow up with, what do those what do those specialties mean? What does that mean for you for a career in the future? Or maybe you're never heard of an actuarial science or an analytics. Well, just to start, if you're good with numbers and math, then as your advisor, I would probably recommend that you studied something like finance, accounting, analytics, or the actuarial sciences. When it comes to finance and accounting, both involve the management of large amounts of money. So logically, a lot of big companies like a banking firm or an investment firm, they need people with those finance or accounting skills to manage that money. Also with analytics and actuarial science, those kind of mean that you use the systematic analysis of data or statistics in order to solve problems, probably big ones for big organizations. So data and statistics, obviously that will mean that you need those stronger skills in math. If you're more creative in your mindset, then a really great major might be something like marketing, where you would learn how to promote or sell products or services. If you're more entrepreneurial or you want to start your own business or grow a business, then I might recommend business administration or entrepreneurship. Both those areas are going to teach you skills and techniques to help you build, manage, and better operate a business. You might be surprised to learn that management information systems, or MIS or IT, is actually usually treated as a business major in the United States. So in this field, you would learn the knowledge and skills such as database management, computer programming, but as it applies to businesses, to large organizations. So when you enter this field, you might enter in to a job as a business applications programmer, business analyst, or a systems analyst. If you're really organized, then logistics can be really exciting. Supply chain management is the process of basically moving products from point A to point B. So obviously, two really big companies that I think almost everybody has heard of, like Alibaba or Amazon, they really live and die by logistics to get their products from the factory to the warehouse and then to the customer. The last area that I'll cover is human resources. So if you really like working with people, human resources can be a good fit. People in this role usually work with personnel in an organization as an asset. So you will help hire new employees, train existing employees, developing workplace policies, administering benefits, like insurance and sick leave, and motivate employees to stay. The last sort of frequently asked question that I could come up with is, what is a student's job outlook is going to look like after they graduate? So that the answer to that can be quite complicated, and will definitely vary wildly depending on which area of business you want to study and your intentions. Do you plan to go back to home, to your native country? Do you want to go somewhere else? Or do you want to stay in the United States? So what is true of the job market in the US might be different in other areas of the world. So job outlook, at least in the United States, if you want more opportunities to live and work here, then I typically advise my students to study something like analytics or information systems, because you'll find better pay and a higher likelihood of maybe attaining a work visa. Unfortunately, with some other majors like accounting and marketing, you kind of have to be careful with some of those majors. For example, if you study accounting in the United States, it might not apply to the accounting systems that exist in your native country or other countries. Different countries use different accounting systems. So your degree might not be as useful abroad. So that's something to consider into the future. So I've covered all the frequently asked questions that I wanted to cover tonight. I know this is a very quick session so far, but I wonder if anybody that's watching this live right now might have questions of their own. A great question that was just addressed to me directly was uh, somebody in the audience was curious about maybe some anecdotal stories from previous students I've had in the past. You know, Green River College, we philosophy go anywhere from here. So I have and gone to cities and have met their goals. And again, different students have different goals. I've had some students in this most recent application cycle have just embarked on their transfer goals, having gone on to places like Cornell University, UC Berkeley, UCLA, some fantastic schools. But even thinking further back into the past, what have been some of the results from some of our business students that, now at this point graduated and gone on to start their careers? I can think of at least one student in the not so recent past, just graduated from University of Washington, Seattle. He came to Green River, studied his 2 years, transferred to UW Foster School of Business in the Seattle area, did internships at Expedia, famous travel company, and has gone on to move. I think he is in the process of doing OPT so then he can stay and work in the United States for a good while longer. Another student of mine, he actually did finish his degree at UC San Diego. Before then, starting a career with, I think it's called Oath, a famous advertising firm in Copenhagen, but they're based all around the world, and they're a subsidiary of Verizon Wireless. He then studied his master's at the University of Copenhagen while working these jobs. So I think that's another success story that I can think of. Some other students in our past. Let me take a quick look. We've had so many over the years. We have another student from Malaysia that transferred to University of Washington Foster School of Business. She got accepted to a great many other awesome schools, like many of our students do, Boston University, Northeastern University, to study business administration and finance. I think a lot of students have praised not just of course, the international programs, but the professors on campus, the advisors, the people that they meet naturally, socially, all around campus. Who else? Another person I can think of. Yes, and one of our recent graduates, this latest application cycle, Russell Limbert. Sorry to call you out if you're out there in the audience, but he met his goal and is moving on to University of British Columbia, so he's not going to be too far from us here at Green River, but obviously on the other side of the border. But he got into his major business finance, so I think he's really excited to get started on business school in Canada and saying about his options to meet a very diverse international experience at a big university like UBC, University of British Columbia. He's pretty excited. Another student, Helena, also from this previous application cycle, she got into Cornell, really attributed a lot of her experiences to being involved in leadership, the advisors here at Green River, all the classes that she took. She felt like she learned a lot from her instructors and is looking forward to those next steps, moving on to a big school like Cornell with a lot of other probably great future leaders. One other student, one of my students, she got into UCLA, chosen to go into UW Foster School of Business with obviously a business major. She felt like the curriculum at Green River College is very comprehensive, and she loved her time here, having also been able to take on leadership roles, being our ASGRC vice president, being very heavily involved in school activities. She was a pleasure to work with, and I'm really excited to keep up with her through socials to see what she's able to accomplish as she makes those next steps. All in all, I think I I hope at least that you get the big picture that we do a really good job here at Green River College and international programs in helping our students meet their goals wherever that might take them. And then we hopefully can continue those relationships and we keep up on students uh, further down the line, because it doesn't just end as soon as they transfer away from Green River, but hopefully these experiences and the education that they've acquired will carry on with them for the rest of their lives. I will hang on for just maybe a couple more minutes to see if there's any questions from the audience, and if not, then I'll probably sign off fairly soon here. Oh yes, great question. Thank you for bringing that up, Lansing. Lansing is one of my colleagues in international programs. If any of you are interested in contacting me directly, feel free to email me. That's probably the fastest way to get in touch with me. It's A as in apple, and then my last name, Nguyen, at greenriver.edu. I've gone ahead and put that also in the comments for any of you for future reference. That's a great way to reach out to me. All right. Well, thank you for everybody's time for watching this video of me. And I hope everybody stays safe. And I hope that we all move past this and one day soon. Maybe some of you I will see down at the Green River campus one of these days. All right. Have a good evening or good day wherever you are around the world. Goodbye, everybody.